name is Molly Butterworth.
And I'm Tom Eisel, and we wrote They Will Run, the Golden Age of the Automobile in St. Louis. This presentation is meant to give you a brief overview of what's in the book. Now let me share the screen. Here's the front cover of the book. You can see that we have several St. Louis related images, which we will talk about momentarily. Molly?
We really do start from the very beginning of St. Louis's identification, starting with the indigenous Americans as really a transportation hub. We lay out, of course, the early and mid-Mississippian tribes and how they used the area around the confluence of the two great North American rivers to start building establishments. Of course, that popularity due to the location of the St. Louis region carried through to the European immigrants. Of course, the aforementioned rivers playing an important role. You'll see here a shot of river traffic on the Mississippi. The Mississippi also helped St. Louis's another great hub for transportation. The railroad equipment arrived here before the railroads were even built. St. Louis was an early participant in the enthusiasm for building a transcontinental railroad that would bring both the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans together via rail. Here is the arrival of the first locomotive in St. Louis. It was built on the East Coast, but it came by river ship. And of course, the Pacific Railroad, an important early player in St. Louis's transportation, unfortunately, it didn't become part of the Transcontinental Railroad, but nevertheless was a very important player in transportation, both here in St. Louis and nationally. St. Louis was also the home of many German immigrants who brought their wagon building arts and crafts and skills to St. Louis with them. You'll see here in this ad for Gestring the innovation of springs in actual soft rides in both cargo and passenger railroads. This was on their trusted skein wagon, and many of these German wagon builders carried their knowledge over to first building bicycles and then later into building the horseless carriages. You'll see here the popularity of those aforementioned bicycles by the shot of a chapter of the League of American Wheelmen posing during a ride at the base of the Frank Blair statue in Faust Park. The popularity of both recreational and race biking here in St. Louis helped the St. Louis leaders decide to pave St. Louis roads, first to make them popular and easy to ride for bicyclists, and of course that helped literally pave the way for the automobile.